Well, we're down to the final four for the NCR D1 championship playoffs, and a bit of a surprise, I guess. Well, I was surprised, or you could say perhaps technically I was dead wrong. These guys right behind me, behind my left shoulder, you thought, well, I thought that they would be in this final four. They're not. They lost to St. Bonaventure. Actually, that wasn't the big surprise. The big surprise was the depth of the loss. Unfortunately, Brown lost to Bonnies by a significant margin. And funny story, I'm there on the sideline, working the sideline for the NCR D2 final, which involves AIC, and the AIC men's players are there watching the women's players. And a great bunch of guys, really fun to talk to. And they just kept saying, hey, give us a prediction. What do you think? Brown versus Bonnies. And AIC had felt that they were good enough to be in that playoff, and they probably were, but they weren't in there. They didn't get the seed, a third seed from the Liberty. And I said, I think Brown's going to win. Brown's going to win. You think? You sure? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, right. It's like that supreme confidence that, of course, gets undercut every time we talk about sports, because sports, that's what sports is about. So, anyway, St. Bonaventure is in there. Walsh Cavaliers are in there. Queens, I don't have a Queens shirt. What's going on there? And I don't have a Belmont Abbey shirt either. But those four are in there, all from the ARC. How do they get there? What is it about them that's got them there? Certainly St. Bonaventure benefited from a poor game from Brown, but it wasn't that at all. Brown just they weren't playing well. However, what St. Bonaventure brings to the table is a great combination of skills. So they have excellent outside backs and playmaker backs who know when to run, when to pass, when to kick. They kick very well, both off the tee and from the hand. More than one player, they know how to play that positional game. Very, very important at this level. And then you go the other way, right? You've got your little fine tool for the engraving, and then you've got your hammer, and Takindisa, Boshoff, and Klink, especially in the front row. Remember, Patrick Klink from Bonnies has scored a try in an NCR final before. These guys have been there before. They understand what it takes physically, as well as emotionally, as well as on a level of intelligence. It's a great mix of talent. That's why St. Bonaventure is in the final four. They're going to be up against Walsh. They've got that great combination as well. They have hard carriers up front, really good front row in terms of how they work together. And then you've got that halfback combination, Aguirre and Tulhoek. Aguirre is going to burn you if you don't pay attention to him. Quick tap penalties, a little snipe around the base of the ruck, things like that. So again, what you have is, and this is going to come up as a theme a little bit, but we've got a lot of South Africans coaching in American college rugby, and they bring their South African style of play. But the South African style of play depends on what part of South Africa you come from, whether you were as a player, traditionally a forward or a back. All those things change as well. But the Cornell Brits style of playing works pretty well with Walsh, in that he expects them to be powerful up front and be a hard driving 8. However, that's not the whole story, and I think that he learned over last year a little bit about how to use some of the other talents that he has, and they have super speed on the outside, and that's the thing that could get them anywhere. They're scrappers. They learn from their mistakes. They've just got to keep that kind of aggression under control. Thanks everybody to our sponsors, Irish Rugby Tours. Go on tour. You need some help? Irish Rugby Tours will help you with itinerary and with games, competition, fun, the whole thing. You want to play at a higher level? Panther Rugby Academy. That's a great way to get playing experience in the United States and just outside the United States in 7s and 15s for young players. PantherRugbyAcademy.com. You want to play and coach at a higher level and get some international input? How about Crusaders Global? Go to crusadersglobal.com. Do you want to spend part of your Northern Hemisphere summer in New Zealand learning how to be a great player? Doesn't sound like a bad idea, does it? Do you want to go to a great college and play great rugby? Next Phase Rugby is the app that you download to connect yourself with college rugby programs and the best college rugby programs, and you can find something special for yourself. And do you want to help rugby get better in the United States? usrugbyfoundation.org. Go join their clubhouse, donate to them. They will help build games, build programs, build players, build coaches, build referees. Belmont Abbey started not that great. I didn't rate them, and they've been getting steadily better. Not even steadily, sometimes in fits and starts. The plan here was to have a team that avoid contact after contact and keeps the ball alive. And if you look at their best games, especially lately in the playoffs, what you see is a team that will offload out of contact, will stay strong in contact. So there's that power, but there's also the idea we're looking to move the ball, pop it around a little bit, and don't just go bash, ruck, static. The moment you get that defense scrambling, that's when they feel pretty good about themselves. So their Achilles heel, or the thing that's been difficult for them, discipline, stupid penalties that they don't need to give up. And they've got to be careful about that, because they will be punished by the team they're facing, which is Queen's. And Queen's University comes into this probably the most polished team of the last 2 years out of this group, which is mainly the old Rugby East group, now in the ARC. So much experience, and they've been able to mix in their new recruits into that experienced group. So you've got Hilton Olivier, who's been there for a long time at scrum half, and he's got Zach Colson at fly half, who's a sophomore, and a very, very talented player out of the Charlotte Cardinals program. But you need some time, you need some help. They mix in Tertius Dietrichson, who is a freshman second row, with Kyle Van Niekerk, who is a senior second row. That is one of the better second row pairings in the competition. Again, you mix young with old. And so that allows them to continue to stay at that level. I think Queens has that unity, that playmaking ability, the power up front, the set piece, and the experience. So they would be favored. But again, we've been betting against Belmont Abbey the whole time. And this is a different Belmont Abbey team now as compared to even, say, a month ago. So that's how the NCR D1 teams got to be where they are right now. I've been harping on the whole thing about difficulty of schedule, and I do think that matters. And I think we're going to see that over time. Would Brown, for example, or Dartmouth, or AIC be better off in the ARC playing those tougher games? I don't think so, because the travel would be insane. What I think is more important is, for NCR to look at, among the many jobs that they have to do and the many things they have to address within their membership group, one of the things is perhaps to take a look at the D1 teams that are struggling within a conference, say in the Liberty, for example, and say, all right, how do we make them better? How do we help them become better? And I'll tell you one thing, I'll tell you, all of you guys, for free, Next Phase Rugby. Next Phase Rugby is the way that those teams can recruit really good high school rugby players to make successful collegiate rugby programs. What's the attraction to go play for you? Well, it could be the majors that you have, the level of study that you have. It could be the tuition. But it's always going to be you love rugby, and this is a great place to play rugby. NextPhaseRugby.com to download the app to create your team profile and also create your personal profile as a high school rugby player and get recruited.